Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, and the place to be for Paper Saber Universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about Dynamite. May 29th, 2024, Tony, Taz, Excalibur on commentary. We're in Los Angeles, California, at the Kia Forum. We started off with Mercedes Moné celebrating her win, her victory over Willow Nightingale, who was also betrayed by Chris Statlander. This is the fallout of Double or Nothing. And we look towards the future, which is June 30th, Forbidden Door. Yeah, as Mercedes is celebrating, she gives Willow her flowers, but she also is like, hey, I'm your new champ, y'all. Like it or not. And Sky Blue interrupts on the screen. She's like, look up here. Ooh. She's the one that attacked Mercedes Moné. A storyline that dates back to the test of time that, I remember thinking to myself, because I was going over the thumbnails and stuff like that, just like reminiscing about moments. And I was like, oh yeah, she was attacked. We never really got it to see who attacked her, or it's a long-term storytelling here. If they're going to do this, is it really going to be Willow? Are we going to get a heel Willow? What's going to happen? But no, it is Sky Blue. So we have finally touched on that storyline from when Mercedes Moné was attacked. She did it. But Sky Blue comes out and tries to take on Mercedes Moné, and this does set up something for later on in the evening. We get a Double or Nothing package. If you haven't, check out my Double or Nothing review. It was a really good time, man. I had a good time, and this is what professional wrestling does for me. It's an escape. It makes me happy. And our first match of the night is some dragon, wagon, house, I don't know, something for the Game of Thrones spinoff show. Kill Switch versus Swerve Strickland. Fun match. Swerve does all he can, and you can only do so much with Kill Switch. He's such a big guy, But Swerve got the win. And, yeah. And like I said, it was a fun match, and it had a little thing tied to it. And, I really did enjoy the fact that Swerve can not really have a bad match. Swerve can work with anybody and make it look good, and especially a Kill Switch. And the fact, too, that Swerve is like, I'm going to take a trophy with me. And that is part of Kill Switch's hair. He cuts the man's hair, and he takes it with him. He's like, there you go. Hair for hair when you took my dread out. But I was nicer. I used a pair of scissors. You just ripped it out of my skull. So he takes his trophy. Tony announces what happened with Mercedes Moné and Sky Blue will now be a match for the TBS Championship. Sky Blue versus Mercedes Moné later on in the night. And I was like, oh, okay. We get a Moxley promo because he's going to face Rocky Romero. We get TV time with Jericho. Oh, fuck. So bad. Then Brian Keith comes out. And Brian Keith's going to be part of this learning tree thing. He got shut the fuck up chance. I was like, no, not Brian Keith. And Bill's like, what did you say? He's a bad apple? And Jericho's like, a bad apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Whatever this character is, happy-go-lucky. Look at me wave. Look at the weird wave I do. I'm just like, oh my God. Poor Brian Keith. You're all elite with Jericho in the Jericho Vortex. Here comes Hook. Then Joe. I was like, no, don't tie Joe into this bullshit. But Joe talks in Hook's ear, and they walk off together, and everybody and their grandmother at that announce table was like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, me neither. Oh, man. I was just like, okay, I guess this is the route we want to go. Then we get a package for Stephanie Vacure. Hopefully I said her name right. I'm not familiar with her work, CMLL, currently the New Japan Strong champ as well. The problem with these introductions is they don't put a fucking name on the screen. You usually gotta look in the background and like Excalibur says her last name so like soft. I was like, Stephanie, who? Who? What? Who is this person? I know I love my professional wrestling, but sometimes there's a lot out there to try to consume. But yeah, so Stephanie's a big deal, and it'll play out later on in the show. We got Jon Moxley versus Rocky Romero in this eliminator match. Who's going to win? Jon Moxley. I was just like, okay, sure. Renee's with Hook and Joe, I guess he's going to groom Hook into being a warrior that he should be, a challenger, and they walk off, and everyone's like, I still don't know what's going on. Don Callis comes out, offers a contract to Orange Cassidy, and what the best thing about this that I thought was funny was Orange Cassidy holds the contract, rips it in half, then pulls the mic out and says, no. I'm like, well, I kind of got the initial no when you ripped up the fucking contract. But, yeah, I don't know. I thought that was kind of executed weirdly. He should have been like, rip the contract and be like, hell no. And throw the contract at Don. I just thought it should have been reversed the way he did it. But, of course, here comes Stokely. Here comes Chris. And I was like, wait, why are they coming out? And then they're like, hey, Don, this is your new member of your family. And it's Trent. Trent has joined the Don Callis family. And he also gives Don Callis a hug over a bloody Orange Cassidy. And I was like, damn. He went to the dark side. He went to the dark side, the dark side. Oh, poor Trent. We'll see what does this entail for him story-wise. And we go into our TBS Championship, Sky Blue versus Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné for the win. It was an okay match for what it was. I was like, man, Sky Blue deserves more. Where's Julia Hart? Where's the spooky one? I do miss her so. But here comes this Stephanie Van Cure with her championship and holding it up. And I was like, okay, so we have a challenge for that championship. Okay. In some backstage segments, we got Renee with Chris and Stokely. They're like, this is why we changed. We got the new Chris Statlander. Then we have a Renee with Daniel Garcia, Daddy Magic. Daniel Garcia's aiming for the international championship that's around Will Ospreay's waist. We get MJF next week. And I'm like, damn. What's going on? A lot is going on. And then before we get into our main event, we got the Elite. I'm surprised they don't come out to one song. You know, they all get introductions for themselves. But the Elite come out. They're celebrating their win. And Okada, greatest promo ever. Shut up, bitches. Oh, my God. I laughed so fucking hard. I was like, this is so great. Just the greatest promo ever. Shut up, bitches. And he meant it. And, of course, they're all cutting promos. They talk about the TNT Championship, how they're going to strip Adam of it. And I thought this was going to be great if they did this, but, of course, that's not what happened. But I was like, they should just strip him and just to be assholes, give it to Jack Perry. That's what they were setting up for. But then, of course, here comes Christopher Daniels. He's like, I got a new job. I report to Tony, and anything you hear from me is from Tony Khan. He's got a new job. You know, he's not fired. And, you know, the Elite like, oh, yeah. He's like, yo, we're going to have a qualifier matches all the way up to Forbidden Door. And at Forbidden Door, we're going to have a ladder match to determine who's going to be the new TNT champion. So we got that to look forward to. And Mr. Jack Perry has to earn his way, and the Elite were like, you know what, let's go tell our good buddy of ours how happy that he's back with us. And so they go to attack Christopher Daniels, but here comes the Acclaimed, and it is a standoff. A standoff. Yeah. Swerve with Nana backstage. Swerve cuts a promo and is like, hey, whoever's going to win that gauntlet match, best be ready because they don't know whose house? Swerve's house. A Rush promo, if you will. Kind of calling out MJF, I guess. He goes, MJF, when you mess with the bull, you get the horns. That was it. I was like, okay. I would love to see MJF and Bruce. That's a dream match right there. I was like, let me get some of that. Get some of that action. So then we go into our Casino Gauntlet match. Jay, Pac, Pacifico, Will, Leo Rush, Shota, and who else? Hechicero, all coming out. Oh, and Orange Cassidy. Craziness all over the place, main event. A lot of action going on, but at the end of the day, Will Ospreay will face Swerve Strickland for that championship, and I'm like, oh, dear God. This is going to be a goddamn banger of a match. Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay for the AEW Championship. Yes, please. Take my money. And I'm just like, oh, but who do I go for? I think I'm a bigger Will fan than Swerve, but I'm also a big Swerve fan over Will. Like that's the problem. I'm just like, oh my God. I know I have a Will Ospreay shirt. I don't have a Swerve shirt, so maybe I'm going for Will Ospreay. But do you have Will Ospreay lose his first match here in AEW against the champ? Because he's racking up these wins, and he's getting a lot of opportunities pretty damn quick. He got the dream match with Bryan Danielson. He's got the international championship he won from Roderick Strong, and now he's automatically going to an AEW championship. I feel like this is the sort of match that you could have had at All in London, especially for Will. That would be huge in that big crowd and stuff like that going into the main event of that show. But Tony is a matchmaker, and that's what's going to happen, and you never know. We could get these two have a battle of a lifetime at Forbidden Door, and then have the rematch, the Rocky moment. Will losing to Swerve and saying, like, I just need one more shot, and let's do it at All in London. And that would be a banger, folks. So that's it. That's all. Short but sweet Dynamite. We still got Rampage. We got Collision. And we have SmackDown. And we have all these good things coming up. But Forbidden Door is going to be shaping up. I cannot wait to see where we're going a lot of these things. And MJF is back next week. Sign me up. All right, y'all. Tell me what you thought of the show. Drop those comments below. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, share it with your grandma, share the bum down at Walmart. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. I give this show a solid 3.5 out of 5. My match of the night is Killswitch versus Swerve Strickland in the Dragon Laggin' Wagon match. Whatever you want to call it. Promoting that show. But that's it. That's all. Drop the comments below. I am KMB the Sexy Ninja. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life. Brother.
And you know what they say, the bad apple doesn't fall far from the learning tree. Oh my God. Brian, you're welcome to stay in the Jericho Vortex.